Hey, I have some time to kill in the car, so I figured I would do a quick video. There were a couple news stories recently that I wanted to mention because they're really good examples of what I'll get into now. Governments hate crypto because they do not have control, and governments are all about control. They want to maintain control over you, and in order to do that, they need to be able to maintain control over your funds, over your assets, over your resources. So let's look at a couple of these stories, and I'll tell you why it's a perfect example of A, why governments hate crypto, and B, why you should love it and why cryptos are the future. Bitcoin alone, not even privacy tokens, provides an incredible amount of safety and security in order to secure your assets, even without using privacy tokens, that no traditional investment vehicle and no traditional currency, fiat currency, can. And here's one good example why. So one of those stories, and by the way, before I get into this, if you haven't already followed my new account on Twitter, it's at Darth Crypto Flux, Flux being my trading group, Flux Crypto Group, so at Darth Crypto Flux, Flux. So these two stories, number one, in Germany, authorities seized $60 million worth of Bitcoin from a suspected criminal, right? They don't have the password, and the criminal's not giving that password to them, so they're not going to be able to access those assets. They're not going to be able to seize $60 million from this guy because they don't have a password, and there's no way they're hacking into Bitcoin. There's nobody they can go to. They can't go to tech support at the Bitcoin bank and say, hey, you guys need to give us access to this guy's money. Here's a warrant. It doesn't work like that. Even without using privacy tokens, the government does not have control. They do not have access to your assets. That is absolutely incredible in today's day and age, given the amount of government overreach we have to worry about, people being prosecuted for their political convictions. It's getting scary out there, and to take that away from the government is crucial. So privacy tokens are great for other reasons, but even just using Bitcoin provides a level of safety and security that no fiat currency possibly could. So that's a really good example of why governments hate crypto and why you should love it. Another one. Now, the other story I shared recently, Bank of America. This is utterly insane. I have like 8 Bank of America accounts. I'm canceling them. I'm not giving them another second of my business. And I've been a loyal customer of theirs for over a decade. All my business accounts, my personal accounts, everything is with Bank of America. I'm leaving as soon as I can, within the next week. So Bank of America, without notifying their customers, against their customers' will, and without a warrant, they were not required by the authorities to do this. Bank of America went through the personal records of their customers and people who spent money in and around Washington, D.C. on January 6th, people who paid for plane tickets, people who went to weapons stores and purchased a gun, people who were spending money in the general area. They had their information sent to the FBI as potential suspects in the attack against the Capitol, of people who stormed the Capitol. That is insane. The government didn't go to them and say, here's a warrant, you need to give us this information. A private company took their customers' private information against their will and shared it with the authorities in order to rat them out. And guess what? In the cases of the people whose information went to the FBI, they've been cleared. They didn't even do anything wrong, and they weren't involved in the storming of the Capitol. That is insane that a private company would do that to their customers, but it just goes to show you that these companies and these elites are in league with the government, and they don't care about you. And in order to protect yourself, there's nothing better than keeping your assets in cryptocurrencies. And if you had your assets in cryptocurrencies and you were able to use that instead of using Bank of America accounts, you wouldn't put yourself in a position where this evil shitbag of a company could do that and betray the trust of their customers. So that's another reason why governments would hate it, and another reason why you should love it. It provides an incredible opportunity to securely store your assets without worrying about people getting their greasy hands in it. But moreover, there's nobody that has control because there's no corporation called Bitcoin that can give your information to the authorities. And forget about the authorities. It could be, you could have a lien on your house or something like that. With crypto, that's alleviated. You could owe somebody money. You could be getting divorced and your wife can come after you, but cryptocurrency protects you because you're able to shield your assets. And even if you're not doing something that's necessarily negative, there are plenty of positive reasons why you would want to maintain that firewall. And not allowing other people to have a single bit of access to your assets is incredible, and that's something that crypto can offer, and that's one of the reasons why crypto has got nowhere to go but up. Bitcoin is going to be a 6-7 figure asset within a couple of years because there's a limited supply, and demand is going to absolutely skyrocket as more people realize this. More people around the world are going to realize that the government can stick their greasy fingers in your cookie jar whenever they want. And in order to protect yourself, there are products available. They just don't know how to make use of those products. And the more mainstream crypto and Bitcoin get, the more easy it's going to become for people to get into that market and for people to start using those products. As that happens, more people are going to be purchasing Bitcoin. Demand goes up. We have a limited concrete supply that only goes down as more are lost. And that's just a perfect example of why crypto is the future. And that's why government hates it. And no matter how badly government tries to ban it, they can't. And that's the best kicker I could possibly give you. They have no way of banning Bitcoin. They can't do shit about it. So they better figure out a way to embrace it and give us our freedom. Because if they keep trying to encroach and they think they're going to be able to ban it, it's not going to work. It's going to backfire on them. And everybody in the world is going to say, well, shit, if the government is that against it, I better get my ass in. Anyway, I figured those were a couple good articles to give you as an example of, again, why governments are terrified of these products and why we love these products. Be safe out there. Follow me on Twitter. Fuck Jack.